Welcome back to the pod you're looking for. I'm Josh. This is Sam. You and I both stayed up last night until about 4 a.m. We are recording the next morning. we got zero sleep. We are going raw on just pure emotion right now.
You know it.
So we're back. Stranger Things just finished last night.
I went to bed at 4:25 in the morning.
That's crazy.
Oh my word.
That's crazy.
We were talking about that. There's a dehumanizing element to staying up that late.
There is.
It's romanticized quite a bit. Oh, let's stay up late and watch Stranger Things, and then you're like, I hate
myself.
I think I'm dead inside.
When's the point that it's like fun to stay up late too? Like, is it like 1:30 where you feel like we did something kind of?
I think after 2, I become cognizant of how late it is. And then when you can no longer say it's late when 3 hits, and now it's just you're in the early hours of the morning, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
And you got to just start taking care of yourself.
Okay. Yeah, 3 a.m. has always felt to me like the middle of the night where it's like if something's going down bad, like at my house, it's going to be then. But then the second you hit 4 a.m., it's like all the early risers are up. So it's like early morning.
Well, you can't sleep in the night, right? Because you just have chaotic things happen to you in the middle of the night. What happened that one time you were telling me? That crazy story with the tree or the car or something. There was something.
Yeah, we had a crazy ice storm. And it was just weighing down like all the trees. So like it wasn't snowing. It wasn't doing anything. Not like a crazy wind or something. Yeah. Just the ice was just weighing down these trees so heavy, dude. That the tree literally snaps and it like fell and it hit my AC in my window and it just knocked down everything and it was crazy.
But it landed on your car too.
It landed on my car, so I like woke up and it was like 3 a.m. and it sounded like a bomb went off.
I was gonna say, did you think like the rapture was happening?
Dude, yes, it was like that loud. Like I'm not trying to just say that. It was like the most startling thing I've ever woken up to in my life. So I just shot out of bed and I was like,
crazy. Did your whole family wake up or what?
My sister right next to me, like room right next over, nothing. Literally nothing.
Really?
She was just but everyone else was up. But yeah, that was a moment where like my heart actually was beating out of my chest. I felt just so like irrationally scared. I was like, this is
Of course.
I don't know what's going on.
It probably takes a second to just like process there's a tree on my car.
Yeah, and then you see that a tree, you can see like the branch things that like fell on your window, and then it's just on top of your car, and you're like, great.
Gosh, dude.
Great.
Can't ever have a good thing.
that was something else.
Can't ever have a good thing. Or can we? We just watched Stranger Things 5 finale. Rub those hands together. What do we got?
Can we start just like a little bit of like a preliminary talk of just overall feeling?
Yes.
Just a feeling that you've got right now. Can you give me 3 words to describe how you're feeling right now? I can give you 3.
Let me think. I might be running on about 2% brain activity right now. The brain waves are kind of they're flattening out right now.
Yeah.
I say nostalgic.
That's what I was going to use.
Can I do a hyphenated one?
Sure, go for it.
Emotionally spent. I don't know if that's a hyphenated thing. That might be too. See, this is the problem. I'll say emotional, nostalgic, emotional, bittersweet.
I like that.
Go for it.
Yeah, I would just add in I like those words. I would go hollow. I'm feeling just empty today.
Yes.
I felt last night like
and that's not a reflection on the show.
No, it's just because it finished. There's something unmatched about TV shows compared to movies or anything else. You just get such an attachment to these characters because you watch a movie, right? 2 hours, maybe 2.5. Mm-hmm. You watch a show like this and you put in 60 hours into these characters, and it's just like to have it all come to an end where I'm never going to see all these people on screen again together. I'm never going to see these stories. I mean, hopefully I don't. Hopefully it's not some random spin-off someday where it stinks, but I don't want them to do that, which we'll get into, I'm sure, because it felt like they were teasing a couple things.
Feels like the writing is on the wall to come back to this in 30 years.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. It Chapter 2 style.
Yeah. But anyway, it just... Something about leaving that last night at like 3:30 after the holiday and everything. I just felt very, like you said, emotionally spent, but I was just like, I don't know what to do now. Like, I feel just like part of me is just missing. And it's funny because we didn't have it for 3 years, and you don't even realize, you feel that way until it happens.
Well, but we had it for 10, We didn't, but we did.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do,
it's
though.
Like something about the hope of knowing that something's continually going. When you know something ends, it's just a weird sadness you get.
Right.
And I know I'll be fine in like a week.
You have to fill that void with something else.
Yeah. And so I woke up today just feeling kind of like, I feel sad. I feel happy. I feel a little satisfied. I feel slightly disappointed. I feel just a bunch of different things, so we'll see.
So how do we want to break this down then?
Do we want to give a quick rating and then just a quick feeling of why, and then we'll go into just like the actual reasons? Do you want to kind of just go through the episode?
Yes.
And we can kind of just say what we liked, what we didn't?
Rating The finale specifically.
Finale specifically.
Then talking about that, then going into the season as a whole now with the context of the whole story.
Right.
And then going into the show as a whole.
Yes.
Okay.
And for everybody watching the full episode, we're going to be doing that like you said. So finale, season, show, and then we're going to be doing a few news pieces, and then you're going to be reviewing Bugonia.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be reviewing
masterpiece. And then
I got Regretting You. One of the best 2025
Martin
movies.
Scorsese's Regretting You.
John Carpenter's Regretting You.
Cinematography by I can't even think. I can't make jokes right now. All right.
Heidinger.
Yeah, right.
yeah. Okay. All right.
So I might need you to go first because I've got a couple numbers floating around in my head right now.
I've got my finale
I think you giving your concrete number will help me to I'll kind of piggyback off you a little bit.
Okay. So, I have a lot of prefaces for why my rating is what my rating is.
Okay.
But
are you going to give them before? Or?
No. I'll just give you my rating. I just want you to understand that this is not just like a flat, there's a lot going into this rating.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, you can't just you got to hear me out before you, okay. All right. Should we, my rating? Well, our rating of Stranger Things season 5 finale. 3, 2, 1, 8.5.
Okay. I think I'm torn between a 7.9 and an 8. So it's like
right
there. I'll give you an 8.
Give me an 8.
I'll give you an 8. It's like maybe a flat
round
8.
You up. Okay.
But sure, yeah, I agree. There's multiple layers to what the number is and why it is that. Mm-hmm. You know, it kind of you can't just rate it because of the episode itself. It kind of you have to look at it in the broader scope of what it means for the show as a whole and the story. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'll say flat 8.
Yeah. Okay.
And again, I saw this finale 25 seconds ago. So anything
this is as raw as it gets.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
All right, go into it. What are your
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about a finale that can make you cry as much as it makes you. And the question I've been wrestling with in my head is how much of that is from how good the show was and how much I'm going to miss it and how good the actual finale was itself. You know what I'm trying to say?
That's an interesting
question.
That's
where I'm coming at it, where I'm not sure. But at the same time, I think ending a TV show like this is one of the hardest things you can do. And while we do have a lot of critiques, I do at least, I have one glaring thing that I think was the biggest problem. But I think that for the way it perfectly wraps up the characters, if you're going to look at it almost as just the finale, how we're rating it, given what we've already gotten, I think where we felt last week when we recorded about the second part, I think this is exactly what I wanted to feel coming out of it.
Yes.
Knowing what we knew, this is exactly what I wanted it to be.
This is the pivot that we needed. Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree.
I just don't know then how I would feel. That's probably why my season 5 rating would be lower, but I'm okay with the finale, if that makes sense.
Okay. I feel the same way.
Okay, so what went into yours? Again, this is just brief.
To me, we're going to go into this further. To me, I think that it was the safest way the Duffer Brothers could have concluded the story. Mm-hmm. I don't think that they took an enormous swing. I think even the big swings that they took were swings that you anticipated. Right. Whether it be because of where the story was teasing, just straight to your face, or set photos that leaked or whatever. It was there was no way around some of the stuff that you had seen or picked up on or were kind of aware of kind of over the course of the season. Right. To where it's I wouldn't say there were any surprises in this finale to me. However,
agreed.
However, a lot of the emotional payoff makes up for it, I think.
Mm-hmm. I totally.
Again, but even everything, every last thing about this finale was safe. But I think because of the whole season being kind of like a cluster of tones and pacing and creative direction and narrative storytelling, I think at a certain point you just have to kind of wrap it up. And whether you're leaving some stuff to the imagination or you're wrapping some stuff up suddenly because you got 15 minutes left in the show, you know what I mean? I think that they did what they did what they needed to do to wrap it up and allow us to look back on the show and say, okay, I still hold the show in the same high esteem that I did before.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say it like took the show to a height it had never seen. I wouldn't say that there were some moments in this show that I'm like, you know, where were you when you saw?
Right.
It just kind of, it did what it set out to do, and it allowed me to hold the show in the same high regard, and it's not a situation where I'm walking away from it thinking the last 10 years of my life enjoying the show now have like this damper of like a bad ending. Like it doesn't have that. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just a very safe.
It's just such a sweet ending.
It's just yeah, that's it. It's sweet.
It's just very sweet. And
it's sweet.
It's in some ways like the way you feel as a fan is you almost want it to be sweet, but then you over kind of do it sometimes. So it's like a mixture where it's like you want a little bit of sadness, but at the same time like you do want everybody to be happy. So it's like in a mixture you are actually happy. But you know what I'm saying?
I do. And I'll say I think that, unfortunately, a lot of the risks they should have taken to make this finale feel like an emotional, groundbreaking thing, I think should have happened earlier in the season.
Right.
Because it didn't, you just got to land the plane.
So that's why everything that happened in the finale, I was good with.
Right. Because at that point, it's like, all right, just finish the story.
Right.
Because you should have taken the chances, but you didn't. Okay, so now we just have a bunch of stuff. Just finish it.
Can we talk about the death thing real quick? Because you mentioned this on the last podcast. I think you were totally right. The Nancy Jonathan thing, if they had gone with a big death there, maybe both of them, just one of them, that was enough for me to be like a needle mover where neither of them were needed for the rest of the season.
No.
They weren't.
No.
And I think that you could have had one of them to have that impact. And then when you have the moment of 11, you feel like you've not overdone it. You feel like you've gone with people that were not the obvious choices. And you also kind of, I don't know, it's like a good mixture where like most people end up happy. It didn't really impact the other ultimate direction, right?
Yeah.
I think that could have been an easy way out. And in some ways, I almost felt like the way that Nancy kind of ended in this show made me realize I feel like she should have been the one because it would have been such a curveball if after that whole scene with her and Jonathan, she dies.
And let me tell you something. You can still have the scene with Steve and John. Spoiler warning, by the way. Like everything we're saying in this episode.
You're not going to click on this episode, right?
No, I would hope not. Yeah. Unless you're really just like you don't care. But it is a spoiler thing. Yeah. You can still have that scene between Steve and Jonathan without Nancy. You can still have the moment where Steve falls off the tower and Jonathan catches him. And almost, I would argue, would be more emotionally impactful because the thing that tied them together is gone, but they're still like reaching across the aisle and extending a hand.
Yep.
You can still have that payoff. You can still have that scene on the rooftop at the Squawk at the end because they're reminiscing over what they've been through, what they've lost. Nancy or Jonathan should not have been there, I don't think. I don't think. And it's okay that they are. Again, it's just, it's safe.
Yes.
But it's not like a problem that they're there, but it would have maybe added some levity to the story. Or not levity, some like gravity to the story that would have really deepened it. To its core that I think it doesn't have,
especially when they just weren't that needed. Like obviously they were awesome to see, but like you didn't need them for something directly.
Right, because then like if Nancy's not there, you can still have like Robin maybe being the one shooting the mind flare at the end in that trench. Like you can, and that could be her big moment where she steps up and she is brave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can have there's different things you could have done. There's different ways you could have taken it, and I think, like you said, it wouldn't have deepened it, or it wouldn't have suffered in the slightest.
Yeah,
that's my main thing. I just think more character deaths would have benefited this season. However, by the time the finale rolled around, it was too late. Like you missed the opportunity to kill somebody like Lucas or kill somebody like Steve and have it be something like it should have happened.
It would have felt way too forced
over the course, so that, like you said, when they confront Vecna in the end, it feels like it's like everybody has a reason to be there and want his head on a platter.
Yes. And at the same time, though, I almost feel like those guys like had something that I needed to see them finish. Like I needed Lucas, I needed Will, I needed Dustin, I needed to see them all end their stories the way they did. So that's why it's like those characters like the Nancy and Jonathan were so not expendable, but they were. You know?
They were in this specific instance.
Yeah. Which kind of like a overall gripe of the season, which is going to tie into the finale. But for me, I feel like they focus so much this season as like a overarching finale to season 4, and they focus so much on the dynamics between these characters so much instead of the overarching story. Does that make sense? Like I feel like they went so deep into making sure every person left nothing on the table with talking to this person, understanding who these characters are, and kind of having that ultimate redemption arc. that kind of it got sidelined in the background a little bit of all the other things going on with Hawkins and what else was this big issue.
Right.
And I feel like that overall it just kind of lessened the amount of tension. It lessened the ability for Vecna to actually feel scary. It lessened the finale, which was my biggest gripe. If I could have one like thing that was the biggest problem was it just felt so anticlimactic. Like they defeated him so quickly. They defeated him in like an hour. You had like an hour left. I was like, are we sure he's not coming back? When he sputtered a little bit, that part when he starts like coughing up blood, it's like, oh, it's not over. And then no,
it was.
Which I don't know. I feel like there was something there that you had such a great villain, and he was so calculated, so everything, to then have him kind of just feel like a easy obstacle for them. It was more like they had already overcome the power of friendship. Like the power of friendship just overcomes all, and they were all together, and it didn't matter what was in their way. They were going to beat it. There was zero adversity.
The whole thing that they were trying to convey with the finale was Vecna is not the main thing they need to destroy. It's the Mind Flayer and it's the Upside Down. But the problem is that's not what their opposition has been up until this point. Like they have no... Like even Will and Joyce, who have been dealing with trying to get the Mind Flayer out of Will over the course of these seasons and try and like have Will recover from this like traumatic experience he's had. It's never been about the Mind Flayer. It's about Vecna, because Vecna was calling the shots, and Vecna was, putting the Mind Flayer in Will, and he was the one that was after Will. He was the one that was after 11. He was the one that was taunting everybody, and he got in Nancy's head, and He killed Barb and this and that. Like Vecna was the one who sent all these pieces into motion to toy with these characters.
He was the vessel.
Hey, so in the end,
I think they said that.
Yeah, anyway. so he does. So in the end, ultimately, even though the show is trying to say this whole time you've been thinking it's Vecna's the problem, really it's just Henry's tortured and it's the Mind Flayer. Yes, it is. That is the opposition objectively in the story, but that's not where the characters' heads are at. So ultimately, when you conclude Vecna's story with the snap of a finger, it feels like there's no emotional payoff, even though the destruction of the Upside Down is played out very dramatically, and the destruction of the Mind Flayer is played out very dramatically, and just the Upside Down and the absence of the Upside Down being played like it's this big emotional, heartbreaking thing. Like ultimately, like as an audience member, you need to see this villain that's been manipulating these characters for several seasons now. Like, you need to see, like, a conclusion that justifies how long he's been allowed to just, like, fiddle with these characters in this story. Like, you need to see him bite the dust. And it needs to be a little bit more dramatic than I think it was. I just think it happened, like you said, so suddenly that it wasn't really the conclusion of the arc wasn't really aligned well with a multi-season build-up. And I understand that like the whole thing was played off like, oh, but he was destroyed quickly because Will and 11 were in his head and they were showing him his memories and he was seeing things in the abyss and the Upside Down, and oh, like everybody was stabbing the Mind Flayer and like shooting them with fire and this and that, and oh, and like I understand that it was a team effort, but also like I don't know. I don't know like what you could have done. You kind of just rushed it because you had to rush it.
That was.
I don't know what could have been done differently. Really, yeah, I don't have like a. So here's what you do.
No, I feel like they did everything right. The ability to have it where Henry actually was this vessel being used, and he's actually had such a traumatic past like Will, and you have Will or Henry where you get to see his memories even, and you get to see that really the Mind Flayer was the big thing. Everything is a great idea, but you just rush it so much where the memory, they're in and out of that in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like I was excited when they went in, and then I was like, okay, this is kind of nothing, because you set a 30-second timer the second they get in, so you knew nothing was there. If you're going to have the Mind Flayer be the main thing, you have to build that longer than just like 5 minutes, because they reveal that and they fight him and kill him within 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just too much to introduce at the last second and not have given more breadcrumbs for. I also was just disappointed with the fact that we didn't get any interaction of what would happen when Hawkins and the Abyss interacted. Why didn't we get that? Like, It was the easiest thing ever for 11 to go in and force push Henry, stop the abyss from colliding.
Yeah.
It just never starts again.
Right.
We never get revealed what happened with the kids. Like, not what happened, but why they were important, what they needed to do. There's just a lot of things that felt a little...
When 11 jumps into the Mind Flayer and gets into the heart of the beast, and Vecna's in there, he's hooked up to the thing, and you're thinking, all right, well, he's up to no good. But again, like you said, the abyss is not colliding with Earth, and nothing's happening.
So what is he doing?
Yeah. And I will say, dude, I actually think that like you said, the twist of Vecna kind of being this, they allude to it, being this misunderstood character who was kind of just tortured by the Mind Flayer in the same way that all these characters have been. I appreciated that. I appreciated, I think, mainly because they didn't lean fully into it. I think that, like, if they had gone the Darth Vader route of, he turns at the last second and helps defeat the big thing, I would have felt cheap.
I'd have hated that.
It would have felt cheap, dude. I don't know. I feel like he was irredeemable at that point, and I'm glad that they kind of kept him where he was at. I think that reveal should have happened when Will was in his head when he was about to get Holly and Max.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that when he was in his head and Henry's going, get out, I think that was the moment you could have had Will be like, oh, you're just like me. And then that would have been like a great catalyst for the next couple episodes of like Will's over here and he gets it. He knows what needs to be done. And so he just has to get this one secret about himself out so that he can have the power it takes to get inside Henry's head and show him who he is.
Right.
It kind of just it's all the right pieces, just kind of in a weird order a little bit. And I think that would have been a great time to do it. But speaking on Vecna, I really want to give Jamie Campbell Bower his props. Like, unbelievable performance. I think one of the better... I think he has some of the best eyes in cinema. I think the acting he does with just his eyes alone are phenomenal. He's just a phenomenal actor. He conveys, like, rage and frustration and... all the villainous things that need to be emoted, I think, just perfectly. You feel it. You feel it like when he's chasing Holly through the tunnels and this and that. Like, it's just you feel the frustration, and when he's confronting 11 and this and that. Because we've been talking about this, like, where is 11 in this season, and where's the dynamic between Henry and 11? I think that's played out very well. I think some of the best sequences between Vecna and 11 are in this episode. I think some of the best sequences with 11 are in this episode, and I want to touch on that across the entire show. But I want to give Vecna as a character props because I feel like that arc, while rushed at the end, I feel like it was great to add that element of, like, he's just like Will. He just went too far, and he reached a point where he couldn't see the separation between himself and the Mind Flayer. Yep. And so he just had to go. And I think that was the best way they could have taken his character, even if it kind of rushed itself at the end.
You're right. It's exactly what they should have done. It was just the fact that we got it introduced pretty much halfway into the last episode.
12 minutes before he dies.
Yeah. So it's just too much. Yeah. But I do like what you said there about 11. Number one thing I had written down as my biggest positive was 11. Yep. You and I just posted a clip 2 days ago?
Yeah. What happened to 11?
What happened to 11? She's been misused. That's what we said. Yeah. She was awesome.
This might be my favorite episode with 11 in the entire show.
And it's so funny too, dude, and I feel like there's so many thoughts that I have interconnected. One of the funniest things I feel like is the ability for these actors in this show. I have never seen it in a show like this before, ever. Where these actors can go from being the worst to the best, and then back to the worst, and then back to the best in, like, matter of seconds. Yes. It's unbelievable. Yeah, you're right. Millie Bobby Brown did it. Finn Wolfhard did it a lot. Like, it was insane. You would see, like, some of the best acting of their career to the worst to then right back to peak. Anyway, but she was...
And can I actually say something about that? Yeah. I feel like a lot of the performances are elevated in this episode because you can tell that the actors knew this was the last hurrah. Yeah. I think that elevated it a ton because it was like, even if they couldn't get themselves as the character to get to that point, like, them being like, this is my last shot, and I'm putting the book on the shelf, and I'm walking up the stairs. Like, you saw that, like, when Noah Schnapp is crying or when Sadie Sink is crying, it's not Max or Will, it's Sadie Sink and Noah Schnapp. And when Mike is talking about, you know, where each character goes, and it kind of cuts to them, and they're all saying, like, I believe about 11, like, you see that it's the actors. You see that it's not the characters. And I think that, like, there's a lot of like unprecedented stuff in this show. I think that the connection the audience has to Stranger Things is unlike anything I've seen before. More than Breaking Bad, more than I'll just throw out a couple random ones. More than Breaking Bad, more than like Grey's Anatomy, more than what would throw out some show like the Star Wars, the Clone Wars,
yep.
more than like any of these big market shows. Stranger Things and the audience like have this bond that's like unbreakable, and it extends past the characters in the story. It goes to the actors. Like people want to see these actors succeed, and they just, I think that the actors start to feel like, and the characters start to feel like family, especially when you've grown up like we have with these characters. I mean,
especially when the actors have done that themselves.
That's exactly it, dude. So like, I think when you have grown up with these actors and like you just see this. You see this story ending and you see these actors feeling it as deeply as they've been told their characters need to feel it. It's like you as an audience member connect with it on a whole other level because you see yourself in those people, this chapter closing and this underlying theme of life goes on. Very, very powerful. And I love that. But to your point, like, the lows that some of these actors reach is really it's remarkable how low some of these actors can get sometimes, where it's like, wow, that's awful.
Can I give a specific with that too?
Yes.
They the scene with Will and 11 or Mike and 11. Mike and 11 are inside her head. And
I think I know what you're
it goes and he's like, 11, no, don't do it. And then he like grabs her, like, and it's like it like looked like he didn't want to touch her at all. Like, and I understand it's probably a little strange or whatever, but like, I don't know. And it was like the kiss was so awkward on his end. She was acting great then.
Yeah.
But the kiss was awkward from him. The whole like everything that he did inside that was so weird. And
don't go. I don't want you to go.
Don't go. Don't go at all. And then it cuts back outside, and he's outside like looking at her from far away, and he's screaming his head off. And it was beautiful.
It's phenomenal, yeah.
So it was just so funny because he was so good there, but then inside the head he was terrible. But then you cut back and you believe everything he's doing. But then, don't go. It was just funny how it disconnects.
Yes.
I don't know. And it's the same guy, same situation. How did it? I don't know. Anyway.
I think at a certain point, and again, I say this as somebody with no acting experience. There's like methods that each actor, certain backgrounds that each actor comes from. There's actors that have been classically trained to act with an ensemble, and so when they're with a group of actors, their performance is elevated because it's like I'm working off of the emotions of the people in my circle. And then you have people like Millie Bobby Brown or like David Harbour, who their best moments are when it's just one-on-one or a close-up of their face. And they get to really let their little muscle twitches and their eyes and whatever speak for themselves. And I think that it's sometimes just like a mismatch when it's like, at a certain point, it's like you have these characters with different backgrounds and different abilities in different areas, but then it's like you require them to be together, and it kind of is just, you have to just kind of muscle your way through the fact that they just aren't capable in the same ways.
But dude, it was so funny. Millie this whole season was we were joking about on the last one. She was pouting. It felt like she had the same emotional reaction to everything. Then this episode was some of the best I've seen her the whole show, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, not just in what she was doing, but how she was being expressive with everything, and you could feel what she was feeling.
Same with David Harbour.
Yeah. Which he's always great.
He's always great, but it really has felt like he's been kind of just like cashing the check for the last couple episodes. And this one, he just locked in again. It felt like we were right back to season 4 in the Gulag,
Do you know what it reminded me of? It's just funny to see him do it twice in a year with him and Yelena.
When he's screaming after her.
Yeah, it's like the same exact thing.
It was, dude. It was interesting. Man.
It's like the only role he can play. It's like his thing.
Can we speak more to 11, though? Do you want to touch on 11, or do you want to keep talking back now?
No, please. You talk about that.
I said it before. You said it. This might be 11's best episode. And I think the dynamic between her and Hopper, with the exception of certain keep the door open 3 inches moments in season 3 and the reunion at the end of season 4, I think that their dynamic is played off better than ever in this episode. Regardless of how low some of the lows get in this episode or how mid-level some of the underwhelming moments are in the finale, I think that the dynamic between 11 and Hopper is like the beating heart of this episode. And I think that's always been where the show is at its best. But I think that the mini arc that these two characters go on over the course of this episode, where not every character gets what they want, but it feels like it's like it feels like it's right for each of their characters. Like Hopper for 4 seasons has been this parental figure, father figure to Eleven, and as an audience member, it's like you love their dynamic because it really feels like it's like you're so happy to see Hopper go through this traumatic experience with his first daughter and then be able to like make up for it with his dynamic with Eleven. But also the scene where Eleven is sitting him down and saying to him like, "I'm not Sarah." And so you've been trying.
You need to trust me.
You are my dad, but you've been trying for years and years and years to like hold me back because you're terrified of like having history repeat itself. And like I really believe that this sacrifice needs to happen, and you need to trust me to make it happen. And the restraint, like the reluctancy that Hopper has to like accept that, and the journey that he kind of goes on of like skip to the end when he's kind of encouraging Mike to do the same thing. Like you have to move on. Mm-hmm. Like I don't think the emotion of that and Hopper's arc in this really hit until I was in bed last night, and I was thinking back to like season 1, just thinking of who Hopper was as a character, and just thinking about how far he's come to be able to sit somebody down and saying you can't say to them like you can't let grief like hold the wheel. You know what I'm saying? I want to speak to Eleven's sacrifice. I want to hear from you. Like, I just think Eleven's dynamic with Hopper and the dialogue between them, and both of them having to, like, Hopper having to trust Eleven to finish the job, Eleven being able to vocalize to Hopper that, like, this has nothing to do with you. This has everything to do with, like, this is just where I feel called to go. Mm-hmm. I think it was just very, like, that was where the power of the finale came from, I felt. It was all the underlying stuff. It wasn't the big cinematic explosions or this or that. It was, again, it's like, because I think that's always been what Stranger Things is. It's just the character-based moments.
The way it made you feel.
And the show has gotten so big that it's easy to forget that, like, that's what made this show so successful. It's just like the one-on-one moments where characters have these heart-to-hearts, and you really get a look inside their brains for a couple seconds, and yeah. But I want you to speak to that because I'm half awake right now.
No, dude. A lot of people have been complaining this season that it feels like we're kind of getting far away from the core of Stranger Things. I felt like the dynamic between Joyce, Hopper, Mike, and Eleven, those four intermixing, that was like the core of what we felt of Stranger Things.
Yes.
It felt so refreshing to be back in that feeling because we haven't gotten Mike and Eleven much at all. And this was like the most we've gotten them on screen together in total, like her and Hopper, and just that moment of her sacrificing herself. This whole, and I'm getting ahead. I know we haven't gone here yet, but the moment of him trusting her, and like allowing her to kind of do that, and him being okay with like just accepting what she's done, and then being able to pass that on to Mike. And then him to be able to give his own theory as the storyteller for what he thinks, which in my view, I'm choosing to view it as she's dead and he's viewing that optimistically.
I completely agree.
I think when you view it that way, it makes that whole, like, everything so beautiful.
Yes.
One of the best things they've ever written.
My heart dropped when I thought that they were writing her to have been alive. Like, when I thought that they were saving her character and Callie, it was an illusion. And I mean, again, it's up for interpretation. So maybe 30 years down the road, the Duffer Brothers announced that the reboot in Stranger Things are doing a sequel, a movie sequel, and Eleven's alive, and she's been living in Ireland. But like to me, just like my heart dropped because I was like, no, that was the big swing you took. And
yes,
like, if you're not going to kill anybody, if you're not going to kill anybody, like this was the moment that everything's been leading to, and you're walking back on it. No, and then it's like they leave it open ended. It's the choose your own story thing, and I was like, oh, that's good.
It's beautiful because it felt more to me like it was. Because you don't actually see any of the future events yet.
No.
And he's telling you what he thinks that they're going to be doing, basically.
Yeah.
And the way he just does that, that was one of the best scenes, that whole final scene that they do down there playing awesome, Dungeons and Dragons. But, man, I felt that on a different level, the way he did that. And thinking that she died, but, like, choosing that, like, the only way I can accept this and move forward, like Hopper said, is to be able to view it that she actually is doing these fun things, wicked for good style, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
If I can't have the optimistic ending, I need to just be optimistic about my ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Logistically, I don't think it makes sense either. I think when you see the explosion happen, it first starts with the main base in the Upside Down. So Callie was There's no way she was bleeding out for an hour, and she was still had the ability and strength to be able to cast that for that long, with everything else going on that far away, and the base blows up first. I don't think it makes sense. I think it was just her. I think it was 11 just.
I think it was too.
Perished.
But again, I respect anybody who wants her alive. I love that the directors gave people that choice.
I do too.
And again, a lot of people, and again, it's so funny because last week I was saying the Duffer Brothers have a writing problem where they don't take risks. I think that this was a specific instance where it's like, okay, if you're going to be too scared to definitively kill a character, I think that this was a great moment to leave something open-ended like
Agreed.
that. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Like,
it's not this decision, it's the other things. This decision was perfect.
You're making it very clear that there is a clear resolution here, but also you're kind of like, if you as an audience member can't accept that, here's a nice little optimistic window for you to peer into for a little bit.
Man, I'm just feeling like I don't even know, man. With all of this stuff, just thinking to Dustin's scene with the valedictorian speech where he recreates. Did you catch this with
Eddie?
With him recreating everything Eddie said he was going to do?
Yeah. I'm going to go up and give the principal the bird.
Give him the bird and then grab the thing from him. And then he Hellfire lives. And just so many scenes that just like reward the fan that had been there the whole time. That I think that for everybody, and I want to like put this out. Like I feel like this is my big takeaway from Stranger Things. Everybody's getting a little too nitpicky. They've gone too deep into this big theory and how this crazy thing's going to go down. And I think we just need to forget, like, if a show can make you feel the way it just did, I mean, I've never had a show make me feel the way it made me feel, like last night. I don't think so, honestly. Like, there's greater shows in terms of how good, like, the actual quality is. But, like, the way you just actually, like, connect with people, man, it's second to none.
It's really the visceral, like, indescribable love that you have for these characters over the course of a show that it's like, I think regardless of how it ended, I would have been emotional. Like, it's just, and
yeah.
Again, when you create something that impactful, it's like, even if the finale was underwhelming in certain areas, like, I refuse to allow myself to dwell on that. Because it's like, you did such a good job, you know? And I'm having such a hard time, like, being okay with it being over. You know,
me too.
I can't think about it. Like I feel like I'm like welling up thinking about it, dude. Like I don't like that this is over, but it's like I'm glad they ended it. Like I'm glad you just leave it. Don't let it drag on until it's old news, whatever. Like I'm glad you ended it.
And didn't you? I felt like for the most part, there was one example that I have that's contrary to this, but I felt like we got every single like character interaction I wanted to get.
Yes. Yeah.
Except for one. But.
Yeah. Can we go through some of our, like, can we burst fire some of our
just like quick things we loved?
Like, let's start with like overwhelming good, whether we've covered it or not, just so we have like a definitive, these are our goods, these are our pros, these are our cons, and then we can give like our conclusions about the show.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to start or me, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to just go like point for point kind of thing?
Yeah, I
can just read you some of the things I had.
Yeah, go for it. Dude. Yeah.
So I had first off, I had 11. I just loved that she finally was back to feeling like very powerful again. She had the emotional side. She actually was powerful. Thank you. Because I feel like she's been sidelined for too long. She had heavy emphasis. The rivalry back and forth between her and Vecna was back. Thank you. Everything we talked about. I really like. Yeah.
Can I say with the last?
Yeah, please.
Because I see the audience saying this in response to her dying. Whatever you want to believe. I'm going to say dying because I'm just going to ride the train if she's gone.
She died. Yeah. That's how we choose to believe, right?
Right.
Dude, I believe right now.
She's
I'm sorry.
Dead.
My mind feels so foggy right now.
I know. There's just a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot, and we just didn't sleep. No processing.
I want to say, because I see the audience pushing back on this, it's okay for there to be a tragic character in the thing that you like. It's okay for there to be a character that doesn't get the perfect ending. Like sometimes their imperfect ending is the perfect ending for their character. It's okay that, it's okay that 11 made the sacrifice play, and we don't know what happened to her, but we think she's gone, and we might never know. It's okay that Darth Vader became Anakin Skywalker at the end, but it's a good thing he died because he couldn't have been brought back because the rebels would have arrested him and Leia would have, not wanted anything to do with him. Like, it's okay that he's gone. It's okay that Vecna didn't get his redemption, and he just died as a villain. It's okay that Gollum jumped off the cliff and was so prideful and selfish, and he just felt the need. His mind was so consumed by the ring that he just, he had to go. Like, it's okay that these characters don't get the ending that feels perfect for the story. Because sometimes that's what you need as an audience member, to be challenged in a direction that sometimes that's where the emotional resonance comes. It's as an audience member, I've built up these expectations, some practical and some emotional because of my investment in these characters as a person who loves what I'm seeing. It's okay to not feel like you got everything you wanted, because I think that sometimes what a character needs supersedes that. So I love the direction they took with 11. I seriously do. Everything with her, everything with Hopper.
I felt like I saw people online saying, I think this is what you're getting at. People saying it doesn't make sense for them to say her whole life was unfair, and then she actually just, her whole life is unfair and she doesn't get to have a whatever.
Right.
I think the big thing was that her whole life, she never got to choose. She never had an option. Hopper never let her. This person never let her. She finally has a moment where she gets to decide her fate. Right?
And so it's not even a bad decision.
No.
It makes sense. The military would always be after her.
Like, is it really what she wants? No. But, like, it's what she knows she needs, and that's what she wants.
And how long have we been saying that? That ultimately for the Upside Down to be destroyed, like, 11 has to die.
Yeah.
Like, that just kind of the writing was on the wall from the beginning. She's directly connected to this thing that she created. She created it. She created the bridge. So when the bridge closes, she should be there.
Right.
And if she's not going to die with it, she needs to at least be the one to close it. So either way, she needed to be responsible in some capacity. It just felt like the perfect ending.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if you want to, sorry.
I
interrupted,
no.
dude.
But yeah, just right back into this list. There was just so many things most of my points were honestly just character relationships that I was so glad the way they took the direction with. I really liked what they did with Mike and Will.
Yes.
I thought their conversation of, I loved the tease as well. No, not friends. Best friends. And that was funny. But that was just, it's nice, man. It was really nice.
I'll say Noah Schnapp actually said in an interview that just came out after the finale, because they had to withhold that information. He said he was the one who actually suggested a scene like that.
Really?
Because he said that if you're gonna have the coming out scene the episode before, and you're gonna have Mike realize that he was the guy, you got to have some sort of a resolution to that. You can't just kind of leave that undiscussed, because that's a big deal. They were lifelong friends. You can't just move on. You have to address that in some capacity, and so when that happens, it feels like it's a true to life type of thing, where it's two guys rising above the situation they found themselves in.
Yeah.
And just the friendship,
Will on his
is
end
first and foremost.
Will being able to push past the fact that he's making Mike know, look, you don't have to do anything with that at all.
Yeah.
That was me just saying that. And then Mike being able to say, look, I understand your situation and it doesn't matter. You and I are friends.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
It's cool.
And I'm glad they acknowledged it. Loved the Jonathan and Steve thing, which this is mixed for me. I'm really disappointed Nancy didn't end up with one of them, just as a fan. I would have loved that. I would have loved Steve, obviously, but
part of me feels like that was a missing piece.
I did feel a little bit like that. It kind of felt like she had, I don't mean to say, she's obviously great, independent, she can do whatever she needs, but it felt like there was something missing there with her character, because it's been such a plot line for 4.5 seasons now that it just, I don't know. I was expecting something. And I was just really hoping we got a conversation. This was the one thing I was alluding to before about one thing that was missing. I wish we got a Nancy-Steve conversation. I can't believe after all we've been through, we didn't get a conversation.
I don't think they talk. Did they talk in the finale?
No. The only thing we saw was at the very end of 7 when they joke about something right at the end.
That was it. That was their last interaction.
Yeah.
After all that.
And it just stinks because they set it up so much in season 4 to come back, which they had already been setting up the whole rest of the show. But they set it up so much that I would have, even if they didn't go with it, I would have loved to see a final conversation. Just to express everything out.
Right, because even though I'm glad Steve and Jonathan had that conversation, it would have been equally as impactful for Steve to be able to tell Nancy, I know we were never meant to be.
She just spoke he spoke on her behalf, Jonathan.
Right.
And it was just kind of,
I don't know what to do with that, because again, it's safe. It's safe. It's okay that the characters survived, and it's okay that they go their separate ways. But I just think
it's disappointing for a fan. I think
there would have been something to be said about them sitting on the roof at the end there and having there be an empty chair. I don't know.
Yes, dude, that's exactly it. That would have been so much more impactful if she wasn't alive.
Because that would have made up for that would have been the devastating element of yes, they never had a conversation about all of it, but now they couldn't if they wanted to. There's such a specific direction that could have taken the story, and a little added touch that like is just not there. And again, I think them all surviving is okay, but it doesn't change the story. The story's no different whether one of those characters dies or doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Or she should have died when it was the I'm the bait thing, which was a really cool scene. Man, she rocks. She's so cool.
Yeah. She was pretty cool.
Yeah, she was cool. Walk him down Wheeler, right?
Yeah. All right, but more pros?
Yeah, couple pros. I said stuff we've already talked about. Oh my gosh, the Lucas Max stuff. Whoa, dude.
Perfect. Perfect. I don't think there's a bad scene with them in the entire show.
We need a rom-com. Oh, unfortunately, awesome. It would be the rom-com I would watch.
Regretting You Part 2.
We need it. Dude, yeah, it was just really nice. I had the Dustin speech, that last scene.
I'll be honest, I wasn't really feeling the Dustin speech. It felt kind of
You weren't?
It felt underwhelming until he did the Eddie thing at the end.
Okay.
And I was like, all right.
It was the second. I don't know if there was a point where I didn't realize what he was doing. And then he said something about like the screw the system thing. And I was like,
yeah.
He's referencing the scene where he stands up in the cafeteria, right? And he's like,
yep.
That was really good.
Yeah.
And then lastly too, just something that kind of hit me, man, was the when they're all on the roof together at the end, when you get Steve, Nancy, Jonathan, and Robin all together, and they're just talking about how the balance of keeping in touch but also them going their own separate ways. It's just a weird time of life for us too, where this happens, where you kind of just
seeing it and feeling it with
you go in and out with people that you just know that like you grow up with, or other times, and people do their thing, you know, and it's not because you don't like them. It's not because you just have to move on with life, and it's tough. But
and I'll say I teared up. I actually started crying a bit. I was kind of on the couch, and I was kind of like this.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to be, I didn't want to really start, whatever.
Yeah.
But like the moment in that where Robin starts talking, or Jonathan starts talking, I think, and it cuts to Steve, and he has tears welling up in his eyes, but he looks away because he doesn't want to show the emotion of it. I relate to that on like a profound level, because it's like I'm feeling all the stuff, and but I can't look you in the eye, and like I can't let that sit. Like I refuse to let my emotions sit on my heart, sit on my sleeve like that, or what's the phrase?
Wear your heart on your sleeve.
I refuse to wear my heart. Yeah.
You can't let the emotion sit on your sleeve.
I know. I refuse to let my heart sit on my. What is it? What is it?
To wear your. Well,
I refuse to wear my heart on my sleeve like that. Like
yeah.
I can't. Because less because I'm worried about what people are gonna think, and more it's like, I can't think about how fast life moves. I can't think
it's
about
to yourself. You don't want to keep spiraling and making yourself more emotional.
I can't think about I grew up with this person, or I have all these memories with this person, and now I talk to them once a month. I can't think about I spent years of my life laboring over college stuff with this person, and now I only see them on Instagram. Like I can't think about that. I can't think about how I found the love of my life, but it also means that like this fall I'm like not going to be living with my family anymore. Like I can't think about it.
It's like you got to just suppress that.
It's a tough thing, and so like the Steve thing where it cuts to, and again that's even just like speaking to, that's the first time we see Steve cry in the show. Like just so good, dude. And it's. Again, it's none of the dialogue in that scene got me. It's seeing the characters, and again, it's seeing because the actors are feeling it. Like it's not them. That it's not Ross. It's not the Duffer Brothers being like, all right, time to cry. It's these actors being like, I can't get through this scene, and it's like you feel it, dude, because you're like, I'm feeling that too, dude.
Yes, because they're on set together for a year straight.
I know, dude.
For the last 10 years it feels like, and then you just lose out on that.
I know, dude. It's something else.
Yeah, it really
I'm
is.
like getting teary thinking about it.
I know.
I'm like, it's so difficult.
Especially for you, dude, because you have a lot going on in life where things are changing, and it's tough to think about.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels like you just don't even want to think about it, not because you can't. Yeah, it's just you got to suppress it because it's just too much.
Because you have to move on.
Yeah.
You have to keep going.
And what good does it do? It feels like.
Right, dude. Exactly.
It's just making me sad, to unnecessarily be sad.
Because I have people in my life that it's like they're able to like be like, I miss this person, I miss this thing, and they like my fiance, she'll sit on her phone and she'll scroll through pictures all day. and she'll just look at, oh, remember this was when I was 7.
I can't do that.
This is my grandpa who's not with us anymore. This is him holding me as a baby, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't even think about that, dude. Like my grandparents are all still here, thank God. I can't even think about that, dude. Like I can't. No, like it's not gonna happen. And like so, it's something else, dude. Because I just think regardless of how high this season has gone at times, how low it's gone, not often. I mean, we talk about the last couple episodes being the worst ones. They're still like 7 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like it's not a bad
people are
show.
getting way too up on that.
Right,
Yeah,
it's not a bad. And we had to kind of like, because you're annoyed because you want the show to end with a bang.
Yeah.
But like the show has not really reached like rock bottom lows.
No,
ever.
it's just when it was placed.
Right, exactly. It's the timing of everything. But I think regardless of how high it's gone, how low it's gone, like the Duffer Brothers have consistently had a perfect grasp on the passage of time and how it affects like the people in the story, how it affects the story itself. And I think people have been using this as such a complaint over time, almost memeing the show, because it's like, oh, these actors are 40 and they're acting like they're 26, and oh, these actors are 26 and they're acting like they're 14, and I think it's fine. It's fine. I mean, you look at pictures. First of all, you look at pictures of people in the 80s. I mean, they look like there's my mom's yearbook. If you open it up, there's like a 45-year-old man next to her in the yearbook. It's like people with the handlebar mustaches and the mullets. But all that to say, I think it plays to the devastating reality of like how time just keeps chugging on for these characters, for life, for us as an audience. Like it just keeps moving, and you grew up with these characters and you started watching them. They're practically wearing diapers and they're playing Dungeons and Dragons in the basement, and now Dustin's in the library doing a book report at college, and he's meeting with Steve, and he hasn't seen Steve in a year, and you're seeing them sit on the rooftop and talk about how they need to get back in touch because they haven't been in contact, and you see them at their graduation. You see Mike, now he's an author. You see Lucas and Max going their own separate way, or together, but they're going their own way. And Will is now at college, and he's halfway across the country. And Hopper and Joyce are moving out, and you just see all these different things, and you're like, it just feels so human that it's like regardless of experience, like time just like pulls people apart, and it puts you in different places, and it's unforgiving in that way. And there's just such a human element to this show that's so unrealistic. Like the show is so unrealistic, but the human element is just like nothing I've ever seen before, dude. And I just feel so connected to it, and it's really something else. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's the exact same way they clearly had a big emphasis on it, because it's the exact same way that they closed the season in the show. That you see him walking up as he puts it down, kind of signaling him moving on. You see Holly and all her friends go down to relive it, and he sees them having the same beginning of a childhood that slowly slips away, and it's just
it just repeats. Yeah, now the new kids are in the basement.
Yep.
and
who knows what they'll be off to. Yeah.
Gosh, dude, it's just something else. I don't know how many more pros you have. I have a couple more that we didn't.
Yeah, please. I'm pretty much done. Yeah.
The Joyce and Hopper thing is spectacular.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's probably the safe thing that they went with that I'm just like so beyond happy with, because you toyed with Hopper's death and this and that and his mental turmoil of losing Sarah, and then he loses 11, and you're like, all right, well, here we go. He's about to spiral down again. We're going to cut to Hopper in bed with a woman, and he's going to have a cigarette on his chest, and it's like he's going to be back at square one. And then it's almost like they use 11's death as a catalyst to have Hopper completely let go and surrender to time and just moving on and letting time heal. And dude, the cutting to in the montage of like everybody moving on and getting older, like the scene of like Will's graduation when he's in the cap and gown, and it shows him with his arm around Joyce, and then it pans out and Hopper's there. I was like, oh, it's so good, dude. It just felt so special because it's like he lost 2 daughters and he gained 2 sons, and it's like, it was awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
And I just at the end,
I love that you said that.
Him proposing,
such a good scene.
Yes, and him proposing to Joyce. So much payoff to that, dude. It was so perfect. At Enzo's, it was like, oh, let's go, dude. And it was so safe, and it was so okay. Like, it's so okay that that's where he ended. And, gosh, dude.
Is it? Is it? That's the thing. Well, did you see the tease?
I love the Montauk reference.
Montauk,
that being like the inspiration for the show, like the actual real life child experiments in the show. Like I love that they interwove that. And again, the Duffer Brothers said that they had a spin-off or some sort of a different project planned, and they would hint at it in the show. I don't know if that's the reference. I don't know if it's the New Kids in the Basement.
That's what I was wondering, if it was one of those two things.
Right. Yeah. I have no idea, but I guess, or I don't know if it's something with the Abyss. I mean, we don't know, because it's not like they destroyed the Abyss. They just tethered the connection. So you never know.
Who knows what else is up there?
You never know. But there's just a lot to love. Another pro, the music choices.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Can I say, dude, Purple Rain is one of the most influential, impactful songs in my life. I don't know why. I don't know what. I don't know when it started. I think I listen to Purple Rain 2 times a day. And it's been like that for years. Years of my life. I just listen to Purple Rain. It's therapeutic. I have never gotten sick of it. It would be, if I had to go down the list of like 3 to 5 songs that I think could pull me out of Vecna's mind thing, I think that would be one of them.
Yeah.
It's really a spectacular thing. When Eleven pulls Mike in and they embrace, and it cut to them as kids and it played Purple Rain, I was like, dude, the tears started flowing, dude. I'm crying thinking about it. It was something else, dude. Like it was so special. That was so special. And I usually think, I think oftentimes they did it with the promotional material for Rise of Skywalker. Whenever shows pivot to flashback sequences, I usually think it's so cheap, because it's like you couldn't tell a story that was good enough that it just carried through. You had to cut back to fill in the emotional gaps that you couldn't recreate.
The nostalgia of it, yeah.
This is perfect. This is the one show where I'm like, you need to circle back.
Because it's built on that.
Exactly, dude.
It's built on the nostalgia.
Every step is dependent on the one that came before. Right. Like, it's not, none of it's random. Right. It's all just been one progressive journey. And at a certain point, you have to go back. And gosh, dude, it's so powerful.
And that's what they were doing, though. That's what the whole episode was going back to square one. So to show that was what was so perfect.
It was great.
To tie it all together. Yeah.
Yeah. It was awesome. I love that. The Purple Rain thing, the landslide with Fleetwood Mac, and the montage of the town kind of healing and moving on. Oh, awesome. So good. And maybe it's because the show just didn't really rely on music that much throughout the course of this season for once. It's the one season where they didn't really have an over-reliance on like 80s music, with the exception of the first episode.
Right.
And Max getting out with Running Up That Hill Again. There was not really a dependency on music to really push the story forward, but not this episode. No. Golly, dude, something else. Oh my gosh. Really got me. Yeah. And I stood up. Hands on my head, just like when that first chord from Purple Rain, I was a mess, dude. I don't know what it was. I think I just love. I don't know if it's a mix of the song. It's them as kids.
It was hitting you in 2 different ways.
It's them as kids.
The song, and then you thinking about your own life. Yeah.
Oh gosh, dude. Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, just perfect.
That's good stuff, dude.
Perfect, dude.
Yeah.
Something else.
I'm glad you felt the way you did. I was worried that after last week you were gonna come on here and we were going to be a bit more negative. I'm really glad that we're coming here and we can just kind of take this positive spin.
I think
not
so,
to say
dude.
that there is negatives for sure. We will get into that. But it's just, you sometimes just like override it, man. Like,
right. It's not the perfect finale. It's not even the best finale I've seen, but I just think it was what the show needed, since they didn't take a bunch of risks before. It just, like, if you're going to tell a safe story over the course of the season, end it safe and keep the integrity of the show high. And that's what they did.
Does it feel to me like the people that are disappointed about this ending are the people that are the fake Stranger Things fans? Like the ones that just got into it in like 5 seconds ago because they... That's how it feels to me, at least online. I feel
maybe, or just people that feel like
how can you say it sucked? You can't say it sucked. No, you can't look at me and say that. You can say you were disappointed by things.
I think there's some people that maybe to more of an extreme than us, but just like people kind of rely on these big sacrifice plays.
But dude, like how do you
big deaths or whatever?
If you've been riding with this show, how do you not feel it the way we just as we're feeling it?
I don't know.
I'm not even a particularly emotional guy, and I felt it a lot. So it's like, I don't know how you don't if you've been riding with it.
Yeah, we didn't touch on this either. Speaking of Joyce, dude, I have to say, her being able to be the one that delivers the final blow to Vecna, just perfect.
Perfect.
Awesome, dude.
It felt like she's been so sidelined this season. I'm so glad she got to have that moment.
Yeah. Yep.
She got to be the one. Yeah.
It was great.
I love
so
that.
good.
I love that. Did you have any other positives you want to go through? You feel happy?
I had a couple things written down. Let me see. The scene with Hopper and Mike was great. I also had Will and Mike's follow-up written down. The final 45 minutes, a lot of people are like, how are you going to kill Vecna 50 minutes in and then leave the rest? Whatever, dude. The final hour and a half of Lord of the Rings Return of the King is just resolution. Like, You know
how
what I'm
often
saying?
do we sit here and we want more and more of just like understanding where these characters went?
Right.
They didn't overshare. They just gave you what you wanted.
Yeah, dude.
So many times you get the big bad and there's 5 minutes left and they just like go their way. You're like, what happened?
And everything was necessary. You gave every character time to shine. And this is one of the cons, so maybe we'll go into this later. Right. But except for like Erica and Mr. Clark, which I just thought was kind of ridiculous, but we'll go into that in a second.
Yep. Maybe, we will for sure.
Why don't we go into cons now?
All right, let's do it.
Do you want to start with that?
Yeah, start with that.
The Erica and Mr. Clark thing. Was so random to me.
She was awful this season as well.
Erica?
I'd like to say, yeah. I felt like, not that she was bad, I guess it was the writing, but it was so mistimed as well, and her sassy thing just wasn't working for me at all.
Right.
The timing of when it was happening
was
just
kind of cute when she was like 8 years old, and now she's like 16. And
now
you're like, all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just the whole Mr. Clark thing felt weird. I've always loved when the show has utilized him as a character. I think he's great, and I love his sweet dynamic. Yeah, I love his sweet dynamic with the kids. I think he's such a cool like mentor figure to them. And Dustin's dynamic the first couple seasons where it's like. A lot of his research, like even when he finds Dart, like he's just like, how quickly can I show Mr. Clark? Because it's like they almost like idolize this teacher that like feels like one of the kids.
Right.
I don't know. I just felt like there wasn't really a place for him this season.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And it felt weird that the one scene he was in, it was like, doesn't it feel great to be a part of the team? And then the military shows up and they storm the church and that's it. Like you don't see them again. You're like, did they kill them?
Yeah. What happened?
Dude, is Mr. Clark dead right now? You know, and then it cuts at the end, obviously, and he's there. But I just was kind of like,
We need to talk about this. I need you to go back and watch this, and everyone needs to watch this. They don't mention Vicky at the end at all, right? Robin with Vicky. Did you see the scene of her where when she comes up, she's crossing her arms like this?
Yeah.
Like she ratted him out or something.
She snitched on her. Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know, dude. Which also at the same time, it's like, of course she would.
No, but what was that?
I don't know.
What was that?
Like
because then they make a comment. Robin says something about partners that are whatever.
Yes.
And then you see that scene where she's all of a sudden crossing her arms. I was like, why is she doing that?
Sold them out.
Everyone else is like so emotionally like so upset about everything, and then Vicky's like, I'm ticked off.
I had the same reaction.
What was that?
I have no idea, but I had the same thought.
Like, what does that mean?
And to me, it was like, I don't know. It felt weird because obviously, like when they were driving, when Murray was driving them into the Upside Down through the portal in the town square, Dr. K followed them in and she watched them drive through. So she already knew they were there. You know what I mean? There was we needed information from Vicky. So I don't know what that was because it's not like Vicky had to sell them out because it was like Dr. K knew where to find them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It felt weird. Yeah. But I picked on that, too. I picked up on that as well, and I was like, that seems like a weird creative choice to have her standing there like a gotcha moment. But yes. Max is in tears to her right, and she's just cross-armed like, welcome back.
Give a crap.
Yeah.
Can I give you one small complaint before we get into the big ones?
Absolutely, dude.
This might be like I'm the only one on the internet that feels this way, but I don't know. Having it be where you see Steve Harrington go from this big punk guy to like this sweet guy that like only cares about his friends at the end. I hate the comments then like at the end where like one of the last things we see of him, they're like, oh, you're going for all these women? He's like, oh, it didn't work with Rebecca, didn't work with Stacy, didn't work with this. So like he's not that guy anymore. Like he's not the Mr. Bounce to girls, like it's all about women kind of guy anymore. And I kind of hate that was like the last thing that they showed.
That to me is like the Duffer Brothers just like an over-reliance on like a comedic moment to like have some levity. It's like the MCU thing where it's like we're crying too much here. We need a moment of we need a levity, a bit of levity. And I don't think you did.
But like, do you know what I'm saying though?
I do.
I feel like he was above that. Yeah. And then you just made him. He just wants his 6 little peanuts and he wants to settle down, but he's also bouncing from woman to woman. Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
It was contrary to his character at that point. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know. It just felt like it was the MCU. We need to put a joke here to kind of resolve it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Okay, I want this from you.
Yep.
Top 3 problems right now. Well, actually,
we already touched on Vecna's death being played out a little too quickly, so I'll kind of skip over that.
That was my biggest one too. Yeah,
that was a big one for me. For me, it's kind of just like the plot holes and things left undiscussed. I think that I was shocked at how easily Will was able to move on when the Upside Down was destroyed. I think I was of the mindset that when the connection to the mindset
that doesn't make any sense.
When the connection to the Upside Down and the Mind Flayer was tethered by 11 shutting the Upside Down down, I think I thought that something would happen to Will because he's part of the hive mind. Exactly.
Totally with you.
I think I thought that Will was screwed. and then he wasn't, and he's just fine. And I think that I think that if there was a moment where he, like, defeating Vecna maybe in the Abyss broke something in Will, and he felt like, I'm free, I think that would have been different. I think it almost felt like the Duffers forgot how connected Will was to the Upside Down. Mm-hmm. So then when the Upside Down went kaput, it was like nothing happened to Will, and then I was like, I feel like we missed a step. I feel like I missed something.
Agreed. Yep.
I also kind of like, just like different plot holes, I think Henry's childhood memories and stuff, and everything with the stone and the doctor and the whatever he was, Russian scientist, and the mind flayer and everything, and how he picked up the stone and the stone entered his hand and this and that. I understand it's all in the play. You shouldn't have to rely on people to go to Broadway to understand what's happening in your show. Like, you should explain it a little bit better.
Yes.
I still don't know what the stone is without the context of the play. I still don't know who that scientist is without the context of the play. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why Henry's there, how he ended up there, how his parents didn't know that he had the mind flayer immediately when he got back home. Like, all things explained in the play, fine. But we're not going to Broadway anytime soon. No. So you got to explain this in the show, you know what I mean? Or just don't do it at all. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of a plot hole. Again, but people are going to say, just watch the play. I don't have $600 to burn on 2 Broadway tickets to go watch the play.
It's the rushed thing, though. It's just, that's a great idea. It's just all of these things with more time and tender love and care would have been awesome.
Exactly, dude. I think another plot hole, and I would love to have you speak on this because I'm sure you picked up on it too. Where are the other creatures in the Abyss during this final battle? Dude, where are the Demogorgons? Where are the Demodogs?
Thank you.
The Demobats aren't anywhere to be found. And I think the Duffer Brothers even said, we just felt like the season was so packed we couldn't even fit the Demobats in. What?
Where? That was so pivotal.
Somebody said that it would have been interesting for Will to maybe take control rather than of Vecna. Let that be Eleven's battle to fight. Have Will kind of channel through all the Demogorgons and creatures in the Abyss and bum rush the Mind Flayer. Mm-hmm. So then you have almost like a war situation where it's like Chronicles of Narnia. They're all like slow-mo running at the Mind Flayer. You could have something where Will like puts his hands in the ground and the eyes roll back into the head, and then all of a sudden all these creatures just come pouring over the hill. You could do something like that, and that'd be crazy. You
and
know
then they attack the Mind Flayer.
That's what I'm saying. And then that weakens
the Mind Flayer a bigger thing.
That weakens it, and then 11 takes it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I just feel like I was like, where is everybody?
So
this place, it's a wasteland.
It was a wasteland. Yes, there was nothing, literally nothing.
You know what I mean?
Yep, I totally agree. The thing with the Vecna the whole time is that he's always got something. Max is giving him a trouble. He's going to send the Demogorgons after him. And I heard from somebody that there was some line or something that explained why the Demogorgons weren't there.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it. I didn't pick up on that. But either still, Henry goes into Eleven's mind and figures out the whole plan. Mm-hmm. In that, then, he should know that they're trying to jump into the Abyss to go kill him.
Yes.
Why doesn't he send out the Demogorgons in the Upside Down to go get them?
Right
then.
Like, right then.
Because they can't get into the Abyss until she, finishes her job.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter.
That's correct.
So basically, at that point, he has control of the situation if he just wants to go send stuff at her. Or at the group. I don't get it.
I don't know, man.
It was just it's everything with that's the thing. I loved everything with the party. Mm-hmm. I hated every single thing with Vecna in this.
Yeah.
Almost everything. I loved Henry.
Except for Henry.
Everything with the creatures, I hated.
Yeah, because it just felt like
it's such an underwhelming build-up.
When it's obvious that the Duffer Brothers left things out because they couldn't find a place for it, it's kind of like, all right, well then maybe organize your story a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah, and just with you talking about Will's connection to the Upside Down thing.
Yeah.
Explain.
I feel like he should have died or something should have happened.
Yeah, the whole thing. They build the season up where we complained about this, but it was so Will focused in the whole first 2 volumes and not 11 at all. And then this one, he was not even in it really that much, and then it was all about 11, which I'm glad it was about her, but I don't get why they couldn't do both.
Yes, dude.
Why not both?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not both?
But yeah, and then just no creatures, no nothing. It was kind of frustrating.
Right, because then they're all walking around with spears and shields, and they kind of look foolish.
Yeah, but why is Will alive? You're so right.
Right.
If he had that
or at
moment,
least just perfectly fine.
When Holly drops off of him, you see that scene where she expels the whatever, the demons inside of her.
Yep.
At least okay, that was her moment of now she's free. Mm-hmm. Will, you see nothing.
Yep.
He's part of the hive mind. And the whole time, when he's snapping Vecna's leg and things like that, previously he felt every single thing. He could feel everything that Henry was feeling when he was experiencing that memory.
Yeah, his hand shoots back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why is he not feeling getting impaled through the heart? What?
Or getting his head chopped off.
Yeah. And Will's just sitting there in the back like, he's just being my boy.
I don't know, dude. It just feels kind of like the Duffer Brothers forgot that that's a thing. And I'm just like, that's a big thing to forget.
It just drives me nuts when you are a director of a show this size with that big of a budget,
and you're not keeping
that's your
everything.
life.
Right.
That's your life, and you just can't like pick that apart. I'm not trying to be the guy. I know a lot of people are like, well, what back in season 1 when the door opened? It's like, maybe you can get into that. I don't really care. But things like this is like so pivotal to the story that like, yeah, that does bother me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I see so many other people. Well, really, Callie technically in season 2, it's like, okay, shut up, dude. Shut up. I don't care.
Yeah.
But that's big.
A smaller plot hole. Derek should not have fit in that hole.
That's some of your best work. That's good. I didn't even think about that.
Dude, they get to that part with the rubble and they're climbing out of the tunnel, and I go, Derek's screwed because surely he can't fit. And then he's just out. And I was like, okay.
We actually didn't see what happened to the kids, did
No, we didn't. Well, they pulled them out, and then they're all in the truck.
Oh,
going back, and then the military stops them, and they're all getting shoved against the wall, and then 11 dies, and then the military's just like, that's the other plot hole. 11 sacrifices himself, the Upside Down closes, and the military's just like, oh, I bet. And they take their hands off. And then Robin's back on the radio, she's like, the military's gone, they got out of Dodge, and we're all good, and Hawkins is healing, and I'm like, but what in the military just gave up?
Yes, you're so right. They just went, oh, yeah.
Because I'm of the impression that, like, that, I feel like even if 11 is gone, the military is still like, all right, but you guys just spent time with her. You were just in another dimension. We need to talk to you for a little bit.
Yeah.
And they just are like,
because maybe
they're
we
dusting
can
off their
replicate
shoulders.
it.
Right. And they're like dusting their shoulders off and fixing Hopper's hat.
Like they're pinning them all down and trying to tie them up, and then immediately after they're like,
and Dr. K,
sucks.
Dr. K, after running a military operation the entire season trying to get Callie and Henry and Eleven's blood to insert into pregnant women to create super-powered soldier babies to fight the Soviets. We're just leaving that.
We're good.
Military operation's still going on.
We're done.
We just have nothing to do with it.
Yeah. She closed it? Oh, we're good.
Because this is, like, upsetting me, because I'm like, this is a huge thing. Like, this was Eleven's motivation. Like, when Callie first is like, we need to go into the Upside Down and die there to cut the cord, Eleven's like, no, we can't, because how are we going to destroy this military lab that's, like, impregnating women with, like, Henry's blood? And it goes nowhere. So now it's like...
Wait, did they all just die in there?
No, because...
the Upside Down. Those women.
I don't know what happened, because so now I'm thinking to myself, okay, but, like...
Dude, they did.
Right, did the women die? Did they take the... Was...
They did. They
100%
did.
Where was the operation happening? Like, I don't understand. I don't really understand. I guess I just don't understand. Like, did the operation just move locations?
They had double. They had the base on Earth, and then they had the place in the Upside Down.
Are they still impregnating women with Henry's blood, or Callie's blood? Because Callie said for months or for years, they had me, and they took more blood than I could even process out of my system and gave to these women. So, okay, Callie's gone, Henry's gone, Eleven's gone, there's no more blood that you can take, but you still, got 85 vials of super-powered blood into these pregnant women, so now you're going to have, 100 babies that just have Henry's power.
Yes. You're cooking.
Am I crazy?
You're cooking. I think the thing is that's different, but either way, it's a problem. I think they all should have died in the Upside Down when she closed it.
Well, but even if they did, it's like, I don't think that's a plot point that you leave up to interpretation.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's still a problem.
And
either
Dr.
way
K
you look
should
at it.
not be left off the hook.
No, she should.
She's just walking around now. Oh. She lived a long, happy life.
Oh, our bad.
Right.
Our bad.
My bad.
Oh,
my bad.
That's on me. That's on me.
My bad. Hop.
Sorry. Oh, it's over? Okay. My bad.
You got a little thing on your shirt here, and they're like, help her. What are we doing? Yeah. Like, that to me, I was just like, that was a big thing. I was sitting there, and I'm like, okay, so we're not getting a resolution to that. And then
that's a great point.
We're not?
That's a great point.
That
doesn't make any sense.
That feels like a big thing.
That is a big thing.
Because that's something that, a lot of the characters, that was their motivation. We need to stop the military.
Yep.
And then suddenly the military doesn't matter.
They still have her blood.
Military left. We got a graduation coming up. I just was kind of like, oh.
Yeah,
right.
we're just going to move on about that?
So I think plot holes like that. But first and foremost, Derek should not have fit in that hole.
That's great. That's something that bothered me too when you mentioned it. They went into the in episode 7. They go into the Upside Down through that military base, so coordinated. They know they have to sneak past the military people.
Yeah.
And I love that once they finish this all, they just think to themselves, oh, if we just go right back through, obviously the military people are just going to let us through. Like, what did they think was going to happen?
right.
Like, what did they think was going to happen? They just roll through like nothing's going to happen.
Murray's driving, he's singing,
singing
Looney Tunes, and then he goes down the ramp and they get road spiked, and he's like,
what? The military people still want 11?
right.
Nothing has changed.
Right.
Yeah, but that another con.
So I think
I hated the military angle this season.
It was exhausting.
It was pointless. It was exhausting. It was like you want a villain to be annoying because that makes them a good villain, but you don't want them to be like the wrong kind of annoying where you're like, just get out, dude. Like I don't even care.
Right. And Dr. Owens never shows up. Is he still out there?
I don't know.
Was he still apprehended by the military?
Dr. K is just the most pointless character ever.
Stupid. And the Duffer Brothers, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to do a little Stranger Things Burn It or Back It in a couple minutes where we're going to talk about a couple things.
Right.
One of the things we're going to cover is like the involvement directors have in the promotion of a show. And not just letting the promotion of the show itself speaking for itself. But the Duffer Brothers at one point said that Dr. K had a connection to Vecna that we were going to understand as the show progressed. What is her connection? Is it just that she wanted him dead?
I don't know. There was a lot of things that I wish.
Or is it just that she wanted his blood?
I don't
understand.
They were James Gunning. They were.
A little bit, yeah.
There was a lot of things that I know that I don't have saved in writing, so it kind of makes me upset. That I remember them saying, by the end of the season, you will have answers on X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And
you're going to know who...
I don't remember what it was, but I definitely don't have answers.
Yeah, you're going to know who Dr. K is. You're going to know who opened the door and took Will to the Upside Down.
Right.
You're going to know... They said Vecna and Will have a special emotional connection that you're going to find all about.
What? And then it's just both...
And then it's just, oh, you're just like me. And I was just like...
But which is... I like that angle, but they didn't spend time on it.
Well, no, this is the thing. Yes, exactly. And that, and it's. I like that angle. Don't hype it up. Just let us find it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, don't even talk about it. Like, that's not something you hype up. Because I'm thinking, is Vecna Will's something? Like, is he related to him? Something? An emotional connection? Is this like a Luke and Vader situation?
Oh, you thought it was more than that?
No.
Oh, are you stupid?
Is that a big problem?
Stupid?
You told me I should be excited. So is it bad that I was excited?
Oh, you liked it.
I did. Is that
you thought you were gonna like it? Oh, well, that's where your first mistake.
Oh. I don't know, dude. I just kind of was like,
yeah.
So there's just
a
couple things, a couple plot holes that like are never going to be resolved. That I'm like, I guess I have to ignore that so that I can keep enjoying what I just saw.
But that's why it's an 8.5 for me. Like,
sure. And that's why I'm like torn between a 7, 9,
it's Stranger Things,
which I know
it's
that's
so awesome,
silly,
but it's like certain things actually make me annoyed, but other things it's like it's just also it's so good that like the things that are so good that I just whatever.
Exactly. All right. So do you want to? We're cruising along here. Do you want to kind of give your basic conclusion here, and then we'll kind of with just the season, and then if you with just with the season, and then if you
I might just give a season rating real quick as well. This is I'll give it I'm gonna go an 8 out of 10 for the season.
Okay.
I think it's a generous 8 out of 10. Like, I understand if you want to go 6 out of 10. Like, somebody does that. I totally get it. I just, honestly, I felt such a deep connection in the moments that were high to the characters. I love the core of what this show is so much.
Yeah.
And it's just really hard to bring that down for me. And the things that brought it down weren't necessarily, like you've said, they weren't horrible, bad things. It was just like... I'm just a little underwhelmed. Mm-hmm. I think so many times we got so bogged down with the theories of this and that. Is it going to be the dragon? Is it going to be this? Is Eddie coming back? Is this? You kind of build up such big expectations for a finale. And no other season has had this issue because you always knew, okay, if it doesn't do it now, there's still more coming.
Yep.
This is just the issue now where very easily there could still be a dragon up there if there was a season 6, let's say. Mm-hmm. And that was the big thing. Mm-hmm. And it's just tough when it's the last thing where you have...
Yeah.
So it's a really hard thing to live up to. It really is. Mm-hmm. So I'm not I'm not mad at that perspective. But I understand why people are disappointed or underwhelmed. And I am to an extent. I just think when you tie it in with how the rest of the show is and just the emotions and how it pays itself off, I really liked it. So 8 out of 10 is probably where I'd sit.
I'll probably give it a 7.3. Okay.
just weigh it higher.
The highs are some of the greatest highs the show has had. The lows are some of the lowest that the show has had, and then it lands the plane. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't blow minds. It just lands the plane, and so then I'm kind of like, all right. So
but can I
looking at the show as a whole, I love the show, and I love the way it ended. I feel happy. I feel okay. But could it have blown my mind a little more? Sure.
Can I challenge you?
Yeah.
Right now on the spot.
Yeah.
We give our ratings for other movies, and I know TV shows are different. I think so much of the ratings being down is just because of how peak it was before. Like, I think naturally, though, you're telling me this is worse than Wicked for Good for You? Like, I just don't think it is. Naturally, it's just so much better.
It's not you see what I'm saying?
Like, the stuff that we're watching in this is much better than most of the movies I've seen this year. I'll say it. And I
think my rating is more compared to the rest of the show.
Yeah, okay. But if we're taking it that way, it's like, I get that people don't like it, but imagine I could show this to you without the prior knowledge, but still have you feel the emotional connection of the moments. It's like, this is insane.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
That's a good point.
So there's something to be said there. I think it's just the expectation.
All right.
Everyone expected this was going to be like, you were going to feel like you just got your socks knocked off.
Which, to be fair, I feel like with a wait that long, it should have.
It's fair. But I'm just saying, I feel like people, like the fact that the finale is rated at a 7.7 and the episode before is rated at a 5.2 or something. That's now it's fair. Like, guys, it's not that bad.
I think I'll give it like a 7. I'll give it a 7.7.
Like every other episode in the finale for them of this seasons is like 9.2 and up.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on. It's not that much worse than
But again, I just wonder how much of that was like, the Demogorgon's headed to the Wheeler's house. Oh, Will just got powers. And it's like always the anticipation of the next
That's what I'm saying,
So now that it's resolved,
it's just tough to end a show like this.
Right. But I think a lot of the quality, what I'm saying is, and maybe this is what you're saying too, and I'm just not, I'm slow. But like a lot of the high ratings that we gave it were dependent on them
the setup
blowing our socks off.
I get that.
And even though they did a good job, they didn't blow our socks off. So it's almost like now it's like just looking objectively at it as a whole. It's like,
yeah,
I feel like 7.7, and yeah,
I get
my rating.
I get that.
My rating is comparing it strictly to the rest of the show, because the rest of the show to me is like, even season 2, it's like 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's like cream of the crop type situation.
Yeah.
And then you just have this like season that is it's very different. It's very different. It's very produced.
Yeah.
It's very
that's a good point.
Scale. I think it's more just season 4 is maybe the best season of television I've ever seen. It's just
that's the issue.
So good.
It was just so incredible.
Personally, that might be my favorite season of television ever. So like when you go from that to,
that's a good. We should do that at some point. Favorite seasons of television shows.
It'd probably end up being that versus Breaking Bad.
I think Breaking Bad season 4 is oh my gosh, to me is better.
Yeah,
I love season 4. Yeah. Holy cow.
I will say though, my rating has nothing to do. It's not really comparing it to other shows or projects this year. It's more like, I understand where you're coming from. My rating has everything to do with everything that came before it, like Stranger Things wise.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's better than Wicked for Good, and I will say every time I think about Wicked for Good. But it's okay. But I think that like the mid-7 range is where I'd kind of sit for the season. Didn't blow my mind, I keep saying. Didn't underwhelm me, really, kind of, too much, to where I'm like, I hate this. But also, I think there's somewhere in there where it's like, it could have been better. But like, if it were any worse, I don't know. It's whatever. But it's done, and it was serviceable, and it wrapped the story up and landed the plane, and we're all good. So
right. Good. I do have a question for you, but I don't know if this might be in our burn it or back it, so I'll maybe save it for after then. Do you want to move into that?
Well, can I just say this about Stranger Things as a whole?
Yeah, please.
Because I know we wanted to touch on the show as a whole, and do you want to give your definitive rating of Stranger Things? Do you think you could?
Yeah. Did I?
Did you? You might have.
I think so. 8 out of 10. Sorry.
All right.
Didn't you?
I don't know if I did.
You said 7.2.
Oh, that was just of the season.
Oh, you mean as a whole? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Did you give your season?
No,
or your show?
No,
okay.
No.
Do you kind of want to give your rating of the show as a whole? Do you think you could like pull that number out of your back pocket right now?
No, I want to say with the preface of this, I have not seen seasons 1 to 3 since season 4 came out.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
So like it's been 3 years since I've seen seasons 1 and 3. So keep that in mind. If I get the show a rating, is this crazy talk? I'd go 9 out of 10.
No, I would too.
Okay.
I would too.
Okay.
Because there are at least, I think, 2.5 seasons where it's 10 out of 10, the best
Quality.
television could be.
I think it's always, like almost always for me, fluctuating somewhere between 8 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 quality. It's just, there's a couple lips where it goes to like a 7-ish. There's just a couple blips. That's it.
I think there's a thing with Stranger Things for me where it's like, I think that, hold on, I have this written down somewhere. I just want to make sure.
Grab it.
I don't even know if I wrote it the way I want it to come out. I just kind of...
Yeah.
It's kind of a complicated, word-heavy thought.
Okay. Tell me.
All right. So I had written this down this morning after waking up, having watched the finale. One of my first thoughts. I said, Stranger Things ultimately suffered from an audience that grew bigger over time than its story was ever meant to appease, and expectations that grew bigger over time than ultimately its ending could ever have lived up to. I feel like the show was at its best when it was like a pseudo horror story that had like emotional family elements in there, and it was like the small town mystery with sci-fi elements. And then it grew, which was fine, but I think as it grew, you definitely felt it getting pulled away from what it was originally created to be. I think the Duffer Brothers say they had a plan from the start, and in some areas I believe them. I believe that they knew what needed to happen to Eleven from the start. I believe that they probably had an idea about Vecna from the start. Like, I understand these things. But I think in terms of like the scale of the show, the budget that it got over time,
right?
You can't prepare for that.
Well, it jumped in season 3.
The Duffer Brothers being no names at the start of the show could have had no ability to foresee what this show would become. So there's also an element of like the further we got along in the show, the further away from the show got. And now in the 5th season, I think there was just a little bit of a disconnect where it was the same character, same story, same goal we're working towards, same resolution that we needed to have. But there's certain points where it definitely feels like a departure from what started everything. And so there's a little bit of that where it's like it doesn't bring the show too far down for me, but it's a blessing and a curse, right? Because the bigger the show got, the more opportunities you had to tell these big stories with more characters and take bigger swings. But then I think at the end, the reason the finale works is because it's a character-based, character-driven, intimate story at the end. You have the Hopper and Eleven dynamic, the Eleven and Mike dynamic, the Will and Mike dynamic, the Vecna and Will dynamic. You have all these different, but it's all very intimate. Hopper and Joyce, the kids playing Dungeons and Dragons. Everything is very one-on-one, very contained. So when you start where you began, you really see the contrast, and like even like the Dungeons and Dragons moment at the end of this show is nothing like the one in the beginning. And it's more just like you see over time, and that's how it works. Like, these shows get big and the budget grows and they become like almost overproduced. But I can't help but be like, man, there was something so special about the way this show started that was kind of like it was very unique. It didn't feel like anything out there. Mm-hmm. And by the end, it was like this story that still felt like nothing else out there, but it also felt like it had a little bit of like the Hollywood overproduction type element to it. And but it's weird though, because I also wrote this down. I think there's a way somewhere within all of the things that happened in the finale, where you could have written an ending that maybe was executed with more scale and emotion and devastation and death and sacrifice and whatever, tearjerker moments. But at the same time, there's not so much wrong with what they did that like I'm really feeling the need to look into that too much. So it's weird. It's like the show feels like somewhere along the way, maybe whether it be the time in between seasons or whatever, like it departed from what made it special in the first place. But also it didn't drift so far away that I feel it lost sight of what it was. And so at the end, even though some things are underwhelming, it doesn't overpower the good that I think that it accomplished. I don't know if you want to speak to that at all.
That's a great point, dude. I really liked your what you read off. You might have to say that one more time.
Yeah. Stranger Things ultimately suffered from an audience that grew bigger over time than its story was ever meant to appease, and expectations that grew bigger over time than ultimately its ending could have ever lived up to.
I think the expectations is interesting because I think it is a thing of how people perceive it, right? Mm-hmm. But I also agree at the same time that, like, they also were setting up for that. Like, that was them doing that.
It was building.
All along.
It was building.
Like, I don't know how you set up the Upside Down without having a bigger scale thing. I'm not saying it had to be the Abyss. Mm-hmm. Like, you could have just had the Upside Down just be the thing. But that is still decently, like, they don't go that much crazier than that. It's just the Abyss thing, right? But the Mind Flayer was always part of it. I mean, it really didn't get that much more nuts, especially if Vecna's technically lower than the Mind Flayer. Yeah. I don't know. But that's a really good point.
But again,
it's
really still... That's... The core of what makes the show so special has always been there and is there even when it feels like some of the stylistic elements kind of pull away from what made it special in the first place. Yeah. Like the core of the show, the characters, the emotions, the connections they share, that's what's leading this show more than the cinematography, more than the 80s inspiration. For sure. It's the characters. So they kept that intact and a lot of the characters survived and you get to see these characters settle into their happy endings and it really does feel like a payoff, you know. So I still think it stands up there. It's a great show as a whole.
Okay.
But there we go.
There we go. That's a pretty good stamp into Stranger Things, right?
I think so, dude. And we'll return to it. We'll have our TV conversations down the line and this and that, but that's the last enormous recap of Stranger Things that we'll ever do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully, dude, as we go into 2026, 2025 was the year of just getting our feet wet. But our feet wet, getting our feet wet. Yep. But as we get deeper, man, I'm hoping we're getting people on. And honestly, something we've done, like we've done the 2 episodes with Cameron where they were like targeted around something. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping soon we get people on where it's a bit more like an episode style of like, you tell us your thoughts on certain things and we'll react, or tell us what we've, you know what I'm saying?
Like a hot takes thing.
Yeah, less so like we're just trying to talk about something you and I haven't talked about, more so like we're talking about something you and I have talked about that now we can get somebody else's opinion on. You know what I'm saying? Great, yeah. So I think that's like perfect form for Stranger Things. So, dude, I like can't even talk. I'm sorry.
You're good, dude. Like, it's so funny. It's almost dinner time and I'm like...
Yeah, I know. What in the world?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're good. So feeling good about that. Do you want to do your quick thing?
A quick thing?
Yeah. You got a quick thing? Or are we good? Or do you want to save that?
My review or?
Yeah.
Are we talking Bugonia?
Yeah.
You want to do Galactic Transmissions first?
Oh, yeah. Oh. Do we leave that in?
Yeah, let's leave it in. What the heck? No, yeah. We have a couple Galactic Transmissions we wanted to go through.
Yeah.
We had a couple.
Tell the people what happened.
Things. Well, nothing major except the X-Men are back in the MCU.
Oh, just that. That.
We had the day after our last episode dropped. We had actually the morning of. We had the X-Men Avengers Doomsday trailer leaked online. Whoa. And now, as of today, as of 30 minutes ago, we just saw on Instagram they're starting to roll it out into theaters, so we can officially talk about it. The X-Men are back. The X-Men are in the MCU.
Yeah, it's canon.
Wow. It's canon. How are you feeling about this? I know you just started watching through the X-Men movies, right?
Yeah.
So you're cooking on those now.
Yeah, they rock, dude. Dude, I'm pumped, man. I'm so pumped. It feels like such an open forum thing where it's like the one avenue with Marvel where you feel like almost everything's been done for you except the X-Men. Like, that's the big thing that, like, I know it's been done, but not really. Like, people want to see a proper X-Men thing done. It's the same way we talk about with the Justice League right now. Like, we've already seen the Avengers kind of done through and through, and people are like, do we need more? Like, we need this for sure.
Yes.
And with that, too, I don't know if you saw this, but they already have a planned, like, there's a development on a Wolverine solo film.
Oh, really? I didn't see that yet.
Post Secret Wars.
Oh.
For the beginning of that mutant saga.
Wow.
You see that?
Okay.
Do you think that's going to be Hugh? Do you think that's going to be a new iteration?
I don't know, because they could do the Old Man Logan thing. I just don't know. Does Hugh Jackman want to play Wolverine for the rest of his life? Because if he comes back for the new rebooted one, he's in. You're stuck.
Yeah. Well, that's what my question is how are we going to blend these old characters with, I assume they're going to bleed them in at some point in Secret Wars, probably, right? The new X-Men?
Probably tease them, yeah.
Some point, right? Because you gotta give them the rub.
Maybe a couple,
right?
Hey, you have to. You have to give them the rub.
Oh my gosh! But right,
yeah.
I don't know how you promote. It's the thing we've been talking about with the Doomsday of how people are thinking like having these old characters back is going to usurp them. Like I think honestly, if anything, it can help promote them, and so that's why you got to have the new X-Men. And if you're, I don't know, you can't just keep going back and having James Marsden and I don't know. It's just
you touched on this earlier. There's a certain element of like we've had everything an MCU fan could ever want except for the X-Men. There's a certain element of you're watching Endgame in 2019 and you're watching Cap grow old and you're watching Iron Man die and you're watching all these characters go their separate ways, and there's a part of you that's like, all right, well, I'm glad the MCU is taking these bold swings and making these big creative decisions for the future of the story so that it's unexpected. Yep. There's also a part of me, I remember laying my head on my pillow that night that I was like, it's a bummer that we're never going to see like Chris Evans' Cap with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and we're never going to see Iron Man interact with Reed Richards. And now you're getting it. Mm-hmm. So there's like a part of me that's like there's also that comic book fan's dream of seeing all your characters like in one place. Like it's so satisfying to like have that opportunity now where you're gonna have the X-Men with the Fantastic Four with the Avengers. It's really quite insane to even verbalize that in a year that's a thing we're gonna just have. Mm-hmm. To access. You're going to be able to go on Apple TV at any point and just click into the X-Men interacting with the Fantastic Four, and you're going to see the Thing interacting with Beast, who's in a room with, Thor. It just feels very
it's
surreal.
It's so comic-y.
Yeah. It just feels like your wildest dreams come true.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, dude. We're just at that point of no return where I can't even think about this logistically from like an analytical standpoint. I can't help but be hyped about this.
You got it. No, that's what we said. Can we move forward? This is a declaration for this podcast.
Yeah.
State of the what do they call it?
State of the pod.
State of the pod. Yeah. State of the pod. State of the pod. Addressing of the nation. Whatever you want to call it.
State of the USA. Or
yeah. We're done. We're done with it. The complaints, the gripes, we understand. We've hashed them out. We're in. We're all the way in. $3 billion movie coming in.
$3 billion.
Calling my shot.
Yeah, dude.
Calling my shot.
Hey, call it.
3 blank tons.
Dude, I really am just so excited. Mm-hmm. Like, this is fan service slop to the umpteenth degree, and I will be the pig that dips my head in the fan service trough to just slop away, dude. I will. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just excited. It just feels like it's like your comic book wildest dreams come true. So there we go. But we got the X-Men. That was the Galactic Transmission.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I have a thing to review, and you have a thing to review, and then I think we'll go back to bed.
That's right.
Man, I saw right before the end of the year Bugonia for the first time. Emma Stone's Bugonia.
Okay.
Well, she didn't direct it. She
Can
was
I count you
starring
down?
in it. But yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. Yep.
3, 2, 1.
I'll give it an 8.3.
So it's better than Stranger Things.
No.
Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying that because of what we said before. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think we'll ever have like a solid like through line of like a rating system that we can like.
I know.
I'm having such a hard time.
I know. Do you know what's funny? Going back to the old ratings and hearing what we said, and I'm like, I just totally don't even agree with myself.
Like every rating.
Yeah. No, so wait. For the sake of the clip, your rating, the Bugonia. Wait, Bugonia?
Bugonia? Yeah, I think it's Bugonia.
Okay. Sam's rating, a Bugonia. Emma Watt. What is happening, man? Emma Stone.
Yeah.
All right. Sam's rating of Emma Stone's Bugonia.
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
8.3.
Okay.
I really, I don't know what to think about this movie. It's bizarre, dude. She's on this tear with, I think it's Yorgos Lanthimos, right? Is that his name?
Yep.
Poor Things, and then he did Bugonia. He's on like a tear, and I think he's working on something else with her. Just to, like very determined to make some of the most bizarre movies that you've ever seen. Without spoiling too much, the movie starts off swinging, and then it becomes this like really tight, claustrophobic. Thriller, I don't want to say. It's almost like an escape movie, and then it picks back up, and it almost becomes like a suspenseful.
Is it like sci-fi
drama? And then it ends on like I don't want to say. I can't say.
Okay.
I can't say if you haven't seen it. It ends.
I am planning to see it. So
you're watching it. I will say there's a certain underlying thing where you're watching it, and the whole time you're thinking, surely this isn't the angle they're going to take, because that would just blow the roof off this thing. And then 2 minutes to go in the movie, they take the angle.
Wow,
and
like that late into it?
And you're like, whoa. It's really, I would say it's a bizarre movie. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it. Mm-hmm. Fantastic performances across the board, and multiple scenes where jaw just on the floor, because it's like very, hey, we're going in this direction, and then this thing just happened, and now it's like we're going right back. We're going in a different. We got to go in a different, and it feels like this like atom that's just like bouncing off the walls, and it's just like every time it like has some consistent thing, some consistent direction, this like subversion happens in the plot, and it just bounces off and goes in a different direction. There's plot twists, and
I just knew she's bald at some point.
Yeah. I don't know how to describe this movie until you've seen it, but it's
I will watch it. Like,
it surprised me. It surprised me, but it's bizarre. It's got like that Hereditary type bizarre thing where you kind of feel like dirty watching it.
Yeah,
like, you feel a little bit like
that.
uncomfortable, but it's very very well done. I know she just rocked it recently. I think Emma Stone could run it back with the Oscar, dude.
Really? For this?
She's the best. She's so good,
wow.
dude. Yeah, she rocked it.
I've heard people say that about Jesse Plemons' performance in this too. Was he good?
He's his character. It's one of Jesse Plemons does this thing where he plays these characters that are hard to watch because of how good he's acting.
Okay.
Whether it be Breaking Bad or whatever, like he plays or what was that one that came out recently? It was like the dystopian, like Civil War, I think it was, right?
Yeah.
He plays these characters that are like very difficult to just watch on screen. Their decisions, their dialogue, their thought process. He conveys this like unsettling apathy through his characters that just like it's very, you feel like you can't look him in the eyes.
Yeah.
Something else, dude. I really quite enjoyed the movie.
Good.
I didn't expect to. So there was a little bit of like a restraint at first, where I was like, I really don't know if I want to like this because it's bizarre. And then there's certain things where you're like, all right.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Again, I know that's the vaguest review I could give, but
no. Well, next week
you have to see it. So
I will watch it, because next week we're doing our official 2025 movies of the year.
We are, dude. I'm finally watching F1.
Good, catching up.
I'm gonna sit down and watch Ice Cube's War of the Worlds a couple times.
Are you really?
No.
Oh. Yeah. I'm catching up too. I'm catching up. There's only, I think I have like 4 more left I need to see, and then I'm like, we're golden.
And then you've seen like every major blockbuster?
I think so, yeah.
Well, that's crazy.
Feel pretty good about it.
Holy moly. You have like, what, 60 movies under your belt?
I'm going to hit 50 something. 50,
That's nuts,
51
dude.
or 2. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I missed like things like Predator Badlands, things like that.
That's
I don't know.
That's
Those are probably the biggest ones that I missed. But anyway, dude, I got to watch Regretting You the other day. Watched it with my girlfriend. And
the box office smash rom-com.
It is an experience. I would encourage every single person to watch this with their significant other.
Ready?
Yep.
Josh's rating of Regretting You. 3, 2, 1.
More like regretting this experience. 2 out of 10. You should watch it.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, it's so absurd. It's like
oh no,
it's Hallmark. But then you just take out all sense of logic and everything. It is
really?
the funniest thing. Some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my life.
From them?
Kinda.
Okay.
Kinda.
Okay.
There's some sad things that happen that everyone just acts like they just move on from. The second it happens. And you're like, okay. It's a lot of just ridiculous stuff, like completely ridiculous stuff. And there's like a small contingent of people that I'm sure liked it because it's whatever. It's just 2 good-looking people getting together, right?
Sure.
But it's like, I don't know. It was not for me. But we were having the time of our lives laughing and picking it apart because it was just so many dumb things that like stupid things like this, right? They make it a point that the mom is checking the Find My iPhone thing to see her location multiple times. Mm-hmm. And there's like I don't know if you care if I spoil it or not. Spoiler warning for people if
2 out of 10.
I don't know
go
if you
for
care.
it.
Yeah. yeah. But there's this thing where basically the husband and the wife of the other person are cheating on them with each other, and she has all of their locations on her phone.
Yeah.
So they never notice. This is happening for over a year, even though they're like best of friends, whatever. Yeah. And she has all their locations on their phone. And then it pans back, and she's showing that she's looking for her daughter, and it's just her daughter's location on the phone. Like little stupid things like that, where it's like completely messed up.
Yeah.
But also, it makes no sense that they're cheating, and that you didn't know about it. Like in the context of the movie, it makes no sense. And then both the two people cheating die in a car crash. The two like lovers. And then like
Mason Thames and McKenna Grace.
No. There's another couple as well.
Oh, I'm
it's
sorry,
like
dude. Okay,
that's
okay,
like the parents basically, and their significant others die in the car crash.
Oh no!
That same day, the woman whose husband just died, she's just like sitting on the couch just watching a show. She's like cool as can be. Like it, like nothing happened.
And
it's just the funniest thing.
It was the same day in the story, or
same day in the story.
Was it just poorly edited?
Just same day in the story.
Really?
Just the worst thing you've ever seen.
Wow.
They've got Dave Franco in it. Oh my word, Dave, man.
Rough?
Dave, I love you. I love you.
Dave.
I do love you, man. But you gotta like that. You gotta get that scrub from the internet. That's not a good look for you, man. There's multiple scenes where he just does stuff where I don't even mean to be that guy. But, like, I was just, like, kind of cringing at his performance. Like, not because he was bad acting. It was just, like, like, what the face that he just had to make just made me kind of upset. Like, it's just, I'm cringing at that.
Wow.
Like, there's scenes where he's, like, putting something on his tongue to, like, eat. And he's like, I don't even want to do it. But, like, he just does it weirdly. And you're like,
yeah.
Dave, dude.
Wow.
You had so much aura. Now you're this. What is this?
Do the card tricks.
Yeah, the Francos, man. The one's a problem, and the other one just is weird, cringy.
That's weird, dude. That's a bummer. Yeah. That's a bummer.
No, not a bummer.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So anyway, I mean, I didn't expect it to be good, but man, it was like.
So does this tarnish the fan casting in your brain of a live action Tangled? Wanting to see these people?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
You're good.
I'm so good on that.
Yeah.
I'm so good on that. People talking about Mason Thames being the next Nightwing? No. No. Stay clear.
James Gunn probably loves him. He probably loved him.
You're right. He probably would. You know what? Do you think he'll watch our review and he'll want to cast him?
Probably.
He probably will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Might as well. Right?
Yep.
That's good. That's good. That's
all
good.
right. What do you think? What do you think?
No, I'm
feeling pretty good.
Yeah,
we I will say we had a burn it or back it segment planned for Stranger Things, but I think we'll shift that into.
We can do that next week or a couple weeks down the line.
I think we'll shift that into either a follow up Stranger Things if we have a guest on, or we can do
hot takes.
We'll do a hot take segment for maybe the 2025 stuff.
Yes.
We'll cover some of the burn it or backets that we had made up there. So.
I actually had a couple people send us a couple things that they wanted us to do on the episodes. So
sick. Sweet.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is we tie that in a couple weeks we'll do just an episode that's kind of like a miscellaneous one, just kind of everything.
Yeah.
Just random stuff that people have been requesting, hot takes.
We got a little bit of that during the period before March when
should we set that up now? Should we like make it like a clip? Like should we say something about sending, we're going to be doing our hot takes segment soon. If you've got any movie hot takes, anything franchise related, Marvel, DC, we love specifically. But you got any movies, we'd love to conquer them. We'll take care of those. But send them in. We'll cover them on the podcast. So
yeah, give us a reason to duke it out.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
We want there to be blood.
That's right. There will be blood.
There will be blood.
Paul Dano.
All right, you feeling good?
Yeah.
I think I got to go back to bed.
Yeah, but
man, the bed's calling.
Bed's calling. But as always, the upside down may be gone, but growing apart doesn't stop.